At almost 10 million kilometers squared, Canada is the second largest country on Earth. It is home to more than 35 million people. It is also an economic powerhouse, with the world's 11th largest economy based on GDP and the 17th largest based on its purchasing power. Executive Director of Fulbright Canada, Dr. Michael Hawes, says, Canada follows a carefully constructed strategy designed to influence the minds and the hearts of foreign nationals and allow Canada to play a larger role on the international stage. But could this large, wealthy, and powerful nation also be one of the most dangerous? Canada's military spending is very low by international standards. It has been nuclear-free since 1984 and is a signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Despite being a NATO member, the Canadian government spends only 1% of its GDP on military spending. This is half of NATO's suggested 2% target. Canada is ranked 22nd out of 126 countries on Global Firepower's Index of Military Capabilities. It has the world's 47th largest army. Given the vast size of its landmass and population, this is surprisingly low. However, this may be because Canada is not under military threat. The 2016 Global Peace Index reported that it was the second most peaceful country outside of Europe. Although its forces have supported international allies in conflicts from Korea to Kosovo, it has never sought war with another country. But that is not to say Canada is totally immune to danger. In January 2017, a terror attack on Quebec City Mosque left 6 dead. 3 years earlier, the country suffered 2 terror attacks by lone religious extremists. In 2014, Canada signed UN Security Council Resolution 2178. This means it actively supports the prevention of recruiting, organizing, transporting, and equipping foreign terrorist fighters who seek to support violent extremist groups. Since 2014, Canada's national terrorist threat level has remained at medium, meaning that a violent terrorist attack could occur. This suggests the terror threat is too low to destabilize the social and political situation in Canada. A 2014 report by the country's Royal Canadian Mounted Police stated that there were 63 national security cases linked to terrorism under open investigation. In comparison, in the same year, the FBI was investigating at least 1,000 US individuals with possible connection to Daesh alone. Existing figures suggest that Canada's Liberal government poses minimal risk to its citizens. In 2017, The Economist's Democracy Index found that Canada was the world's 6th freest full democracy in the world. In 2016, the government's approval rating was at 44%. Impressively, this was higher than they had been when they came to power the previous year. However, the same government may be failing to curb dangerous criminal activity. In 2015, the national crime rate rose by 3%, its first year-on-year rise in 12 years. The increase included homicide, sexual assault, attempted murder, firearms offenses, and robbery. But these gruesome developments may not be as worrisome as they first appear. University of Ottawa professor Irvin Waller says an uptick on its own may not mean too much. On a per capita rate, it is of course much lower than the United States. Journalist Jim Bronskill suggests that the rise may be linked to a surge in gang-related violence. According to the Canadian Police Survey on youth gangs, there are around 434 active gangs in Canada, with a total of 7,000 members. Furthermore, the increase in violent crime is not nationwide. It is concentrated in specific areas. In the first 4 months of 2016, Toronto saw a 200% increase in gun homicides compared to the same period in the previous year. Conversely, Montreal had a record low of 19 firearm murders in the whole of 2016. But Canada also suffers from divisions between settlers and its Indigenous communities, who have traditionally suffered from greater social problems. A 2009 UNICEF report found that Indigenous children are twice as likely to be hospitalized for preventative diseases than other Canadian children. Disturbingly, children are not the only Indigenous groups at risk. In 2016, the government finally opened an inquiry into an estimated 4,000 unsolved cases of missing Indigenous women spanning decades. Indigenous women make up only 2% of the country's female population, but account for 16% of women murder victims. They remain ostracized by much of the Canadian population. A 2013 Ipsos poll found that 60% of Canadians believe Indigenous communities bring their problems on themselves. These homegrown divisions do not translate to the international arena, where Canada has always held significant influence. According to a report by the University of Southern California's Center on Public Diplomacy, the predisposition to privileged diplomatic options has been the hallmark of its foreign policy since the end of World War II. Canada does not have any adversaries on the world stage. Canada is unique for a major global actor. It has impressive wealth, territory, and population, yet it favors cooperation over military combat. It also faces few internal threats to stability. Even mounting global tensions have failed to disturb the North American state. For now, at least, Canada is not very dangerous either to those inside or beyond its borders.